Welcome to the Podnas with Face, Pat, and Tiz.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Podnas, a show with three friends separated by distance, connected by brotherhood, having weekly conversations that you can join in on. As always, I'm 1/3 of the Podnas, your boy Tiz, along with...
It's your boy, the Padawan here, artist in 757 Southeast Virginia. Down here with my homeboy.
It's me, Face, as usual. What's going on, y'all?
This is the first time in 4 weeks that Pat has gotten his intro correct on the first take, straight through, no flubs. Let's give a round of applause for that. Excellent job, sir. Way to go, sir. Way to go. Way to
Yay, me, nigga.
I did not see that coming, man. I did not see that coming, man.
In my mind, I fucked up still, but yeah.
Big facts. So as we're going into the new year, guys, the new year is literally right here. So this is our last show of 2020. Viewers, supporters, people who just follow us on social media, whatever. Thank y'all. Thank y'all as we end our year. I just want to start our last show with just thanking y'all. Look forward to bigger and better things coming in 2021. We got new content coming at y'all. Like, we got a bunch of stuff lined up to just show y'all our appreciation by our work. So look forward to that. We'll get more to that at the end tonight. But I want to jump right in, guys. So last week's topics and just a lot of the content that I've been consuming lately has been centered around just manhood, Black men, just a bunch of those type of themes. And one of the things that keeps coming up has been just generational curses. And it got me to thinking about, like, just, we all know each other's, like, personal, backgrounds and where we've all come from. And just, I just wanted to touch on just, like, what do y'all think about breaking generational curses?
I can go with it. I think my first, just me being patient with having children, I should say, or lucky with having children, it break one generational curse of just having, that was my fear, that if I have a kid, they would go through the insecurities that I went through as a child, not having the dad around or whatever. Now, mind you, I don't really have any art or any type of, like, I have my disagreements in my head about how things went with me and my dad and how and this, that in general, but I also recognize that circumstances in life cause a lot of things like that too. So that's why I never really was like, I always knew who my dad was. Every time that he ever see me, he embraced me with love. He still do that. He's stubborn as heck, but just doing that and that and just making sure if I do be with someone or whatever, I'm at a position that we can benefit both. I don't have no burdens into the relationship pretty much. So those are the first two that come to mind.
What about you, Faith?
Well, first one, I broke is still being alive. My father passed away before making to the age I made, and me being alive is not having to hustle is the second. I'm an 80s baby, so once again, I'm always keep repeating that because those 80s babies, if your father is not around, he either was involved in the drug trade and locked up, or was involved in the drug trade and no longer here. Mine was the latter. Involved in the drug trade, but no longer here. So it is what it is. We all have a past. I've dabbled in what I've dabbled in, but I've had epiphany at one point in my life, and I chose to take a higher and different path. So I'll continue this on this higher and different path, and I don't take a day to look backwards on the decision I made. I mean, every decision I made helped cultivate the man I am. So I did what I did. That's in the past. So I move forward knowing what I've done, and that aids me in making more positive decisions going forward. As far as raising kids in the environment, I was sheltered growing up, so I tend to be more open with, and I don't lie to my kids. Every time I talk to my kids, regardless of what age, I'm going to talk to you like you're an adult, I'm going to make you understand what I'm talking about. So, of course, I'll break it down to their level. So it's on a level that they can understand. But I have no need to sugarcoat anything and shelter them from the world. I treat them in the house like the real world would treat them outside the house. So when it comes to catering to their emotions and feelings, I don't adhere that me personally. Not my wife, man, and the people that the other family members, me personally, that's not how I choose to raise them because I want them to be prepared. So when they go in the real world and daddy's not, because you have to go to school. If you're not prepared for someone hurting your feelings, the first time someone says something negative to you or jokes on you, it's going to crush your world. I won't allow that to happen to my kids. You will be prepared when you go to school. Because, like, for any situation that could arise from your social interaction. So, I mean, I try to do that carefully. I was a latchkey kid most of my life. My mother always worked. My grandmother always worked. Like I said, my father wasn't there because he perished when I was young. And before that, my mother wasn't together. So, growing up, like I said in the first podcast episode, born in New York, moved to Atlanta, so Atlanta. My mother had a beautiful, so I was a latchkey kid. Go to school, come back, make myself in the house, lock the door behind, go make your lunch, sit down, watch what you gotta watch. Your mama come home, she got
Yeah, that was definitely me.
I'm a latchkey kid. You better not go to the door. You better not answer the phone. So I mean, latchkey. In Motor Virginia, same thing. Everybody works, so I go to school, I come home, it's just me. I got my key. I'm letting myself in, cooking what I gotta cook, chilling out till somebody come home. Don't nobody come home by dinner time, take them dinner. So I mean, I'm changing that. It could be like, of course, I want my kids to grow up to be independent and have that sense of independence and know what they can do. But I want them always to know that somebody's around to feel like it's one thing to be a latchkey kid and have it, but in the independence, you grow to be like, dang, why anybody here? Like, I know shit, it'd be nice if somebody was here. Just to see somebody else's face. I mean, most of my childhood, I spent over Ted's house. I mean, shit. Nobody at home.
Or vice versa.
Ted's house. So that's what it is. So, I mean, as far as breaking the curses, going farther than my father, as far as raising my kids different, not as sheltered as I want, and just being more open and things from them. A lot of parents don't, how can I say, they're not open with their kids to let them know who the person they are. I don't let my kids at a young age know the person I was because that's a whole different story. But the person I am now, the trials and tribulations of what it is to become or do what I gotta do on a daily basis to provide for them, I let them know because I want you. It takes work to do this. It don't happen by magic. Money don't go on trees. This is what daddy doing. This is why daddy doing this. Why the car doing this, daddy? Oh, the car doing this because this is wrong with the car. Daddy gonna have this money right now and do this, so we gonna do this right now. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna make up no mystical story for them to believe. Oh, this is this, and the fairies. And nah, I keep it 100 at all. That's the only way to be. I mean, people who there's nothing wrong with sheltering your kids. So don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being sheltered. A lot of parents do that. And there's nothing wrong with how my family raised me being sheltered because there's some things that at a certain point kids shouldn't be. What's the word I'm looking for? Shouldn't be privy to. So sheltering is a good thing, but in my house, some things that should be given to you at your age, I'm going to give you everything that you deserve to get at your age. Now, older things that you should not see, I keep an eye on that because I'm not going to ruin your child. I'm not going to make you grow up as you should, but I'm going to fully equip you on how to handle yourself at all age groups when you leave my house. Because you got to realize the kids leave your house 3-4 years old, going to daycare. Right? So at a certain point, they're on their own at that young age, even though someone there watching them, they're not their parents.
Yeah.
So you got to start equipping your kids at an early age on how to socially handle themselves and socially how to be aware of certain things and social cues and being sheltered is one. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with being sheltered because it's good to protect your kids to a certain extent. You got to let them grow. Once you shelter them to a certain extent, you stifle their growth. At a certain point, I feel like a certain point of my growth was stifled at a certain extent. Well, once again, I don't blame my parents because my parents did the best they knew. So it's on to me as another generation to see what was done to me and better upon that. So
I feel you. I think for me, with generation curses, mine is a little bit flipped in certain areas. Like I was, especially as I grew into a teenager, like I'll be honest, like I kind of was going to do what I wanted to for the most part, whether my mother put her foot down or not. So I was kind of blessed that I had a cool mom that was more like, well, I know what you're going to do. So I'd rather us had a relationship where I at least know about it. And you know what I'm saying, I allow you to do it in a safer place. But at the same time, that like freedom, I don't think that like I necessarily needed it. So like on one hand, it made me a lot more independent because I was able to like kind of explore stuff on my own and kind of figure stuff out. But on the other hand, like it kind of gave me a false sense of being ready for complete freedom. Like, so I kind of stepped out on my own a lot earlier than I probably should have, which led me to make choices that, you know what I'm saying, I don't regret, but I definitely wouldn't have had to make those same choices had I just, you know what I'm saying, kind of had more structure, especially in those like adolescent to teen years when I was kind of more developing. So like, I feel like on that, I'm breaking that generational curse as far as like most of the people in my family have been exposed to like stuff really early because the parents were very like lenient and hey, you know, it's all good. Let them try it. Let them drink the beer right now. Let them smoke the weed right now. Let them hit the joint. Like just wild stuff. You know what I mean? So like it was funny, you know what I'm saying, when the kids found the porn tape and they little, you know what I'm saying, they still in elementary school. It was funny, but like when I think back on that, as far as like exposing me to everything so early, like by the age of 5, my mom had already set me down and explained to me in a medical book exactly how sex worked, where a penis, like all of this. So I had all this knowledge, but like as a person, you developmentally should be at certain levels when you see certain things. So that way you can process it properly and then put it in its proper context and actually use it properly. Like I had all the information, but I feel like I did a lot of dumb stuff along the way just because I felt like I knew what I was doing because I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the application skills of it because I was still a kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I broke that generational curse. I think I also, you know what I'm saying, just being for my family, like the only male, the only male that actually is the leader of their particular family and has graduated college. Like you got people that are leading their families, but it's like it's a struggle, but it's not a lot of anything. You know what I'm saying? They holding it together check by check, day by day. So I think as far as like being like actually successful and have graduated college and like having certain credentials, like I think I definitely broke that curse because in my family, it was always the women that were like the ones that would go to college or like that would be the successful ones or like the ones like my family is full of matriarchs. Like for me, I think that's kind of why everybody was leaning on me too, because I was like the first boy in a long. So it was like it was all women and then me. So it was like, oh, the prince. Hey, look at him. He's the boy, you know. So like, but but yeah, I think for me being like, and I look at all the males in my family, like most of them are either like really dependent on the women in their life to do for them, not to help with them or be partners with them, to do for them, or they're just not doing anything really strongly productive. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I broke that generational curse. And I feel like because of that, I'm looking at like my younger cousins that came after me. Like now, a lot of them are like taking their plans more seriously. They're actually like, whatever they're doing, they're actually becoming successful in those. They're seeing like, oh, I don't have to be, you know what I'm saying, and just be whatever. So I think that, but one of the fears that I have from breaking like generational curses is just from having this success. And this kind of goes back to the last episode. We were talking about like the survivor's guilt. I scare myself sometimes because I feel like because of all of the curses that were there in my life as a kid, I feel like because of that, I'm going to overspoil or over shelter my son because I was so loose. I'm not going to want him to be like me in those negative areas. And because of that, I'm going to end up creating a different curse in him. Where as opposed to me, like I had a lot of freedom in those, that kind of created certain problems later on in life. I feel like because of that, I'm a lot more like attentive, and I have to like I used to call myself chopper pop Like, because I was always just, what are you doing? Oh, don't go over there. Come here. What are you doing? Like, and I find myself like trying my best now to like really, he's a kid. He has to be able to like figure some things out. It's okay to pull back. But I just fit, that's one of my biggest fears is like, because I broke these generational curses and I'm successful in these arenas, that I become overly something else and create another curse where now he's over the overbearing dad with his kids because I was over. So like, do y'all have any of those like fears or like thoughts around like the benefits of like, yeah, I broke these generational curses so my kids have a better life than, you know what I'm saying, an easier life with less struggle than I might have had. What are the cons or negative effects of that now being the case? You know what I mean? Like now my kid has no street smarts at all. Excuse me. Like at 5 years old, I knew not to just run up on everything, like ready to go, especially when I had never been in a fight before. Like it just made sense. I ain't done that. Why I'm gonna run up? Like my son be just, he be selling wolf tickets. And like my fear is like, hey dude, like, because now you ain't grew up around a bunch of kids, like because I grew up around other kids who was always fighting and stuff, like at an early age, for one, I had to fight back. So I was engaged in it. So I was comfortable with that. For two, I also knew like I had developed a sense early on, like, okay, everybody you don't just run up on. Sometimes you need to just be chilling. Maybe I just need to be nice. Maybe I don't need to walk over there. Like my son has no idea that. And I was like, I don't even know how to teach him that because he lives in the suburb. There's nothing to threaten him out here. Like he's chilling. Like he goes outside and he's literally walking up the street, just speaking to the neighbors. Like I live in one of them type neighborhoods. So it's like the exposure to that element ain't even really there. So it's like, that's one of my fears, at least personally. Do y'all have any like fears around like, because of you breaking certain generational curses, the success that it's going to lend you in your life, how that may possibly, like, are there any negatives that y'all have ever thought of on that?
Okay.
My fear is not being prepared to protect him in this crazy world. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just the fear that every parents have, but this world is so crazy. And I think that's one of the main fears why I haven't had a child yet. It's just that it's, especially in this year alone, it's just so many random things that happen. And then on top of that, I have to deal with a personality and a life and that may not know, you know, that doesn't know how life is just yet. You just learn it because he's just into that. Or, you know, if she, whatever gender that my child may be, they haven't experienced life yet.
Right.
And living life is just walking head first into life. You know, it's just certain things. That's one of the fears that, as far as that. And then just like you said, man, just like if they're overly sheltered, maybe they're in an ignorant situation. Like I have half. I grew up in Portsmouth and then we moved into the suburbs or whatever. So it's certain things that I've seen or whatever. And then it's certain things, you know, that I know that, hey, I'm going to just let them be them.
The knowledge base, yeah.
You know, and this, they're where I plan on being in life or whatever. I don't think in general, they're going to be around that. So, you know, it may be an instance where I'm not around as a parent when they grow up or whatever, how are they going to handle their situation like that? Because I know how I handled the situation when I was across it. You know, sometimes I was real stupid and sometimes I was real careful, you know? So, yeah.
My only fear I can't even say it's a real fear, but only apprehension I have about how I raise my kids versus how I was raised is them being too home prepared for certain situations that arise there on their own at early age, where they should develop that on their own. Because, well, in a way, you can still view that as me sheltering, because I feel like making sure they're protected and making sure they're prepared for what they may face. It's like I faced a lot of stuff unknowingly growing up, even though I was sheltered. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure they know the information they need to know. It's
That's
like
real.
everybody says, I can go back in time with the knowledge I have now. I look at me educating my kids as me going back in time with the knowledge I have now because they're little me. So
Right.
I give them the knowledge I have. So the situations at their age, but once again, you have to remember I only give them knowledge that pertains to their age and I don't overwhelm them. Like I said, I don't want to spoil their childhood and force them to grow up too fast because that's
Right.
a total different thing and creates total different problems. So I
Yeah.
try to educate them at their age level. Yeah, I have a 12-year-old. I talk to her about 12-year-old things, and I educate her about the things 12-year-olds should know about.
Gotcha.
The changes you're about to go through, everything you're about to face, the big grade level you're about to go to. The 6-year-old, I talk to her on the 6th grade level. Going to first grade, these are things you need to know. You need to be aware
Right.
of.
Right.
My 3-year-old, his behavior, his manners, stuff like that. So it's not overwhelming them about stuff they don't need to be aware of, but making
But it's
sure they're
just
aware.
preparing them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So I do that a little differently, where I was prepared for survival as far as making sure I can take care of myself and stuff like that. But as far as being prepared for outside situations and social contacts, I wasn't because I was raised how I was raised. So I do that differently. It's also different because I have more children in my household than I was when I grew up. So
Right.
that also helps with their development of social stuff. So they're aware of different things because of their interaction with each other. So that aids me raising them like that. But like I said, I wouldn't call it prepared, just an apprehension about them being too prepared as far as that home training going into those social interactions. I feel that they would be better off developing it in the interaction and having that life lesson.
That's real. I appreciate y'all kind of just giving me y'all thoughts, man. That should have been heavy on my heart lately for some reason. So, yeah, appreciate that. What you got up next, Pat?
Well, it's funny you brought up the environment part of like raising a child in different environments or whatever. And just different possibilities of what could happen and the impossibilities or whatever. So all right, this leads into this topic. Now, this topic, it kind of like how it helped me write my book as far as Godlike, because in like every comic book series, there's a universe that they have. Marvel got the Marvel Cinematic Universe in their own comic book universe. DC, they have their own particular universe, and it does have nothing to do with the characters in Marvel or whatever. Even in animes, Dragon Ball and things like that. So when I was basically thinking of all my ideas for the comic book, the first thing was what would be my rules for the universe that I have for my characters or whatever. Especially if I plan on going from street level, like fighting, like as far as street level characters, and then going into like how I say galactic warlord characters and universal cosmic characters and things like that. So then it really made me think about, all right, so what is the universe made of? So like to actually think of how to make a universe, it makes you examine what we know of what the universe is. So they have, we had this conversation before, you have the observable universe, and that's basically how far the human eye can see through, technology of how much we can see in the universe. And then you have everything outside of that view or whatever. And in that conversation, I was like, I think the boundaries of the universe is probably how far light travels. And then after that, there's just dark matter and darkness. We don't know what's on the other side of that darkness. It could be another universe in general. So I split up the universe of minds as like that's what brings up what I call the omniversal universe. So in order to do this, I had to think in a God complex type situation. Like what would make sense to me logically if I had to put rules and boundaries to a universe or whatever. And I looked at things like, you know, what is existence and what is oblivion? You know, can really anything really disappear or be destroyed or whatever, or is it just in existence in a different form? Infinity and eternity, you know, like what infinity seems more like the vastness of space or whatever, and eternity seems more of a time aspect of like
Okay.
how long
Like one
things
is space
last.
and one is time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then possibility and impossibility. And that's where I think you have the ideas of like multiple universes, because it may be a different reality where you chose a different choice than what you than a life choice that you like really changed your life, you know, in general. Like you know, what if you didn't pick your mate, or what if, you know, you didn't pick the job that you have or whatever. So my theory is based off of whatever is existence. Oblivion is ruled by what is called infinity, which is the vastness of space, and in eternity. So that brought me to this subject or whatever. Perspective versus reality or whatever. Like, what is a lot of people's perspectives can you will allow them to view reality way different than the next person. You know, like if I jumped in, if we trade bodies or whatever, and you know, you looked at my life, or you looked at life from my view, or and I looked at your view, it would have a way different perspective in general. Or just, all right, since we're so similar, just somebody that is totally different from you, you know, like a woman's perspective, or whatever. Like, you know, that could be a whole difference. Like a person that grew up in Baptist Southern America is going to have a different perspective than someone that's living in a Middle Eastern Islamic background. You know, like their idea of like what the universe is totally, maybe totally different than someone in America in general. So it made me think like, what if a lot of things that we were taught was the way it is isn't exactly the way it is. It's just a primitive way of thinking in a bigger span of things. Like I always felt like we as humans may be too small to think about what is God, like the concept of God, you know, like someone that can make a whole universe or whatever. It like, and we're living on this little tiny speck in the universe. How can we actually comprehend that, you know, in general? So that's what it is. It's just like my whole omniversal theory is like thinking like outside of my own bias and whatever I thought of, what would really be the things that rule the universe or whatever. Like perception versus reality. Like what is really what it is, and what is just a distorted view from my perception. You know, just another random topic. Yeah.
This is a different viewpoint on reality itself, and the possibilities of the universe. So I fuck with.
Yeah, it's just another way of thinking. Like because at the same times, the one thing, Marvel has a whole like lifespan of just writers creating their universe, just people putting in their whole thing or whatever. So this is just me doing it. So now it's like I want to set up the rules. So if I have this going pretty much or whatever, the next person know the rules and parameters, and it's not just some old crazy distortion from my original view. You know what I'm saying? Like
it keeps the continuity.
Yeah, and it makes it make sense or whatever. Like I don't have that many I don't have to worry about that many reboots or whatever because certain didn't make sense with what I already said the rules were, pretty much. But how do y'all feel about perception versus reality?
I definitely feel like it's a lot to like what is real. Like what is real is so relative to who the person is. Because like if you think about like the way a blind person perceives the world and what their reality is, it looks very different than somebody who can see. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to look very different than somebody who can't see or hear. So I think it's like it's all based on what you believe, what you think to be true, what you know to be true, and whatever else your brain feels in between. So like I'm really at the point in life where I believe like anything is possible because I don't know. It's so much we don't fucking know. So I'm willing to just say I definitely like the theory as far as like for a comic book universe. I definitely like that feel that keeping some set parameters around things so things don't like go off the rails or jump the shark at any point. Like you can keep some like kind of like through line through everything so that each comic actually matters to the other one. Like it's not just I can throw this one out if I don't like it. Well, no, this one is still happening while this one is happening, so it still has an effect on this world. Like I like that idea, but in general, like that could be how the world works in real life. Like I don't know, like we could be on like the world theory where it's like a babushka doll. It could be where like each world is a wormhole into the next world type vibe. Like I don't know, but I definitely think it's all possible. That leads me to my next topic, one of my favorites. It is the Umar 2020 year in recap, going from one man playing God in a good way and creating a universe we should all want to live in to another man playing God and creating a universe where all he wants is us to give him donations, give him our grits money, punch our kids in the chest, kill 10% of black boys, etc., etc. So Umar started the year off threatening online YouTubers and saying that he's going to slap them in the face for making YouTube videos critique. He then tried to get more donation money by acting like he was trying to get a school in Detroit to go along with his school in Wilmington. However, this was found to be a lie when the building was not even for sale. It was already owned and had already been scheduled for development by the current owner. He then called the Christian radio host a nigger and got canceled for a quick second. He then appeared at a speaking engagement at an elementary school where he called young black boys lazy and blamed them for being in special needs classes. He then got caught on camera making comments about middle school girls being fast and having rotten cookies. Then FDMG was found out to be in collections with back taxes owed in the tens of thousands of dollars at that point. This is still early, maybe Marchish, Aprilish, so still kind of early in the year. Then the school was found to be an EPA brownfield site, basically meaning this place is toxic and we're trying to find a way to rehab.
No shit.
Oh my God.
Umar was then videoed always at the school and entering the school, but never with keys. He always had a locksmith present, leading people to believe that maybe he either did not have the keys to the school, he was not the legit owner, or some other type of fraudulent behavior was up, but it looked very suspicious. So then after that, he went online and started yelling at YouTubers to told his followers to pull up on his haters, begging them to not only find the addresses of the people on YouTube who were bringing out videos critiquing him for his very suspicious donation collections practices and fraudulent behaviors. He then told his followers to pull up on these people and called out the Ski Mask crew and the pull-up team to go find these people and confront them. And he claimed that the school had a fire after saying that the school had fire alarms that he had paid for, which led everybody to be very confused because he had fire alarms, but no fire alarms were said to be going off. And in the video where he talked about the fire, he said that he didn't have fire alarms. But it was like 2 months before that he was on video saying that he did. So we're very confused about that. But what we do know is that a fire did happen at the school in one of the school rooms. He then, let me make sure I'm correct. Yes. He then claimed that the school would be open in August of 2020.
Is it over?
It's December.
We're going into the new year. He was then caught on video in the club, looking and sounding drunk, singing Tupac songs, saying ending California love with the now online catchphrase, "Show me love." So yeah.
Offbeat.
FDMG Academy was found that the utilities bills were in the rear in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. FDMG taxes were still in the rear, now in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, where it was tens of thousands. Then they caught him outside smoking blunts and reported it online, and people started talking about it online. He then went live a few minutes later, saying that he was smoking a game cigar to give libation to the ancestors and the Oguns and Oshuns and Orishas. He then claimed that a waste company cleaning out the rubble after the fire was actually the contractors doing repairs on the school, until online YouTubers looked up the company and found them to be a salvage and waste removal company. He then claimed that he received an offer to buy one of the buildings and used that as a way to request more donations to keep him from selling the school building to these people who want to come in and take their school.
Donations.
No mention was made of this again after 2 weeks of him begging for more
Donations.
He then did a Lord Jamar interview, which exposed him as being unable to accept help, criticism, or even give transparency to his donors around the funds that he's collected, or why it's taken him so long to open said school. This event seems to have changed much of the public opinion around Umar, because before that, most people were just unaware that he was even a scammer and didn't have any idea of his erratic behavior. Like, they just thought he was just a good talking about school. So it was very good at shedding light on his weirdness. Then he got caught in the school on a painting day when he was getting his donors who donate to him every month and loyally support him. He had them up there painting the outside of the school instead of using the funds that he donated to actually get a contracted painter who knew what they were doing, had the tools to actually paint the whole school. So he had people standing out there with rollers painting. And as they ate pizza in the school after the painting, it was noticed that the lights on in the school seemed to be on illegally, as long extension cords were seen running to the outside of the building for some reason, which seemed to denote that a generator or some other way of funneling electricity into the building was being used. When it was found that there was no generators at the school by people who live in Wilmington, Delaware, and went to the school to investigate it, it was then also discovered that the meters at the school were running illegally, leading more people to believe that he was running lights illegally. A complaint was filed, and all of a sudden, the people at the power company in Wilmington, Delaware, ended up having to go out, and I'm not exactly sure what happened from it, but you can still see the same cords outside of the school every time he's there. He then got a fake window breaking scandal that went down in Georgia, where he claimed that a window was broken on a yoga studio he was supposed to be at. And it was because of him, and the haters had finally caught up to him and were trying to sabotage his speaking engagement and his book release. It was then found that that was a lie, because vandalism had been done to almost every other building, including the other businesses that were connected to that building, over the past 6 months on that very same strip. And it was due to local vandals that had just been doing this at random. And they had literally picked different buildings on that same strip. It had literally happened to every one of them. So because of this fake window breaking scandal, he then came and said that an email had been sent to him, and that the protesters were coming to FDMG Academy and they were going to protest him on December 2nd and 4th. This turned out to be a lie, because no protesters were ever planning on coming. No protesters showed up. Just a motley crew of about a dozen of his loyal supporters who had already come to paint the school. So they came out and stood in the cold with him all day and took pictures and went on live on Instagram.
He's good for taking pictures.
And told everybody that they were down with the goofy. So then, since no protesters were coming anyway, Umar canceled the second anti-protest day and had a cleanup day where he had his loyal supporters there cleaning out his filthy gymnasium because that's what they should be doing after they've already given you their hard-earned money. After the fake protest day, he then got caught on live as he thought he had shut down his Instagram live, but it was still recording. And he got caught talking about lighters and other paraphernalia. Then after getting caught, he said, oh shit, I forgot. Looks up at the live, realizes he's been caught talking about all of this in his school, and then he looks very sad and shocked. Later on this evening, he goes live from the restaurant that him and his supporters left the FDMG Academy to go to eat. And he's now looking high at the restaurant, begging for Cash App donations while berating a lady while she eats because she did not want to eat vegan. She decided that she would like to eat. So he berated her and begged for more donations, literally getting as pathetic as, oh, Cash App must be broken. I know y'all gonna get something. He then went on a book tour for the past 2.5 weeks while claiming to need to get the school fixed before spring. However, he has not been back at the school since December 4th, or at least has not been seen there at the school since December 4th. He's been on the road. So how the contractors would fix the school when he is nowhere to be seen at the school, we are unsure. His ex-worker claimed that he's owed money for things like bringing Umar's clothes into the school and other random things, which makes it looks like Umar is living in the school. There was also video of at 3 a.m, the lights being on in one room of the school. After also on several of his lives inside of the buildings, we have seen paraphernalia that looks as if someone has been sleeping there, if not living there. And then obviously within the past couple of weeks, he's had a lawsuit filed against him. And instead of fighting the lawsuit, he's choosing to with Tariq Nasheed over whose Aboriginal movement is the correct one or Pan African. Because we need yet another reason to rile up his supporters. So again, ask for us to go to $ FDMG School on your Cash App and paypal.me/FDMG Academy and give your donations. Give him your grit money. And that has been the pathetic ass end of Umar's entire 2020. Sadly, before this episode probably airs, there will be more weirdness, high shenanigans, and just outright coonery and buffoonery from your boy Umar. Until next time, until 2021, this has been our Umar update.
Donations.
I mean donations, guys. Just ridiculous.
Man, they all those videos, man, with Umar, and he's like messing up, and you can tell they just smoked or some junk. Like, I've been seeing him all those videos, and he just looked like he just smoked. He just put that away. They always try to hide.
Yes,
something.
he always be like, shh, don't do that. Like, what you keep hiding for?
He don't know who he want to be, man. He don't know who he want to be, man.
He want to be King Kong crazy.
I think he want to be Rick Ross and David Banner. Way too much.
Do the Uber. That's what I'm gonna do on my New Year's Eve party. Umar. God bless. Thank y'all for indulging me in that, my people.
Such a disappointment. Such a freaking disappointment.
What he could be.
What leads me to my next topic. What was Omar when he first started? I was like, all right, this guy, he's going somewhere with this way of thinking, right? And then he grew into this monster. So, who was somebody, maybe in the public eye, for example, who was somebody in your opinion that you had a lot of promise for him, but it just turned out it was just disappointment, or it wasn't disappointment, it just didn't turn out the way it was supposed to be. Like,
is this personally, or like just in general, like in the broad scope of life, or is this like intimate? Am I like
in general? It could be like an artist you like. It could be like a politician. It could be like, just someone in general.
I got
just
it. I got it. Barack Obama.
mm.
I feel like he had so much promise on what he could have been able to do had he been a little more assertive to me, especially his first term. I feel like he waited too late to start just asserting himself, and that led to like just a lot more getting worse for Black people. So by the time he was able to like be about to get out of office, at that point it was like you could see we were on the precipice of what actually started to happen during Trump's presidency, which is the rise in police brutality, the rise in racial tensions, the rise in the economic gap widening, like all of these things were like happening, right? It was like bubbling after the recession when Obama came in. And I thought he was going to be the one that was like, okay, you're going to come in and like put your foot down on some of this stuff in ways that he really could have, but he waited too long. And by the time he started really like exercising his executive orders to the strength that he should have, and in the ways that he should have, it was like putting a finger in the dam to hold the water back, but it's already like 30,000 holes. Like that finger ain't doing nothing now, champ. Like at this point, it's about to be what it's going to be. We got Trump on the way in. I feel like his presidency really laid the groundwork for Trump to be able to come. And I feel like he really let me down. What he should have been and what he actually is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like what he represents. I like, you know, some of the things that he did do, but I feel like what he should have been, he definitely didn't live up to his full potential and could have done. So that matters.
You gotta, you still thinking about it, Face? Or?
Hell yeah.
Hold on. Who yours, Pat?
I would say, well, I kind of use Umar, but you want to know one that really, I can't say it was a disappointment, but it's just like, this is just music. I used to be the number one Eminem fan.
Okay.
Like the number one Eminem fan. Like I used to love hearing it. Yeah, I used to love hearing his crazy lyrics, like had his crazy flip on things and this, that, and the third. But now that I've gotten older, I still respect him on his lyrics, and I still respect him on how he flipped things or whatever. But it's like I gotten out of it. Like how to say, the appeal has gone away. It's like I've seen you do this a numerous amount of times. You know, like every
he hasn't evolved
time,
enough for me.
Yeah, like as far as technicality and everything, and how you flip words and stuff
he's
like that.
He's still a great rapper, but
yeah, but as far as like now that I gotten older, I've gotten more into just like songs and arrangement of songs and how this sounds and this sounds, and if something sounds authentic or whatever. To me, it feels like he's trying too hard to fit in with certain beats and stuff like that, and it's like and then in certain range it seems like he's trying too hard to be like Slim Shady. Like some of them, there's a certain beat selection, it just sounds like, all right, this is just way too corny for me or whatever. And I'm a goofy dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, but as I gotten older is whatever, and there's nothing on him. It's just like I feel like it's just me growing out of that phase.
That's real.
Pretty much. So I thought you were about to say something. I thought you were about to say something.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, nigga.
Oh, true.
Ain't nothing wrong with maturing.
Yeah.
You just show him musical growth. That's all.
Yeah. Like I still listen to like when he come out with stuff, but I won't. Look, I'm not that as enthused to listen to it like I was before. Like, oh shit, Eminem about to come out.
I feel you though, because I was with him on the Eminem show back in them days, and then like at some point, like I kept growing up, and I feel like he's still at that same place. Like it's like there was no evolution. Like you got people like Jay-Z and those type of artists that like you can see like that they grew. You was able to grow with their music. But Eminem, it was like his music stayed in one spot, and I kept growing. It's like, all right, you ain't gonna. All right, well, I'm gonna leave you back there. Then I'm gonna go on about my business. So like 12th grade through, I'd say like maybe 2000 to 2004, me rock with him. And then I kept growing up. And he got left in the dust.
Hopefully we get famous enough that I end up being at a diss in a bar or something. This guy Padawan.
Come on, rap about it. I ain't got not one bar for you, sir. Just go ahead and rap about it so we can get famous. Go ahead. Go ahead and get us popping because you want to be stupid. Go ahead. Knock yourself out, sir.
I was still going to hold my own. I'm still going to say some bar. What?
That's right. What? You dropped the bars. We're gonna release it live on our website.
What? I would love that, man. That's what every real MC want to do is fight. Is like battle against somebody that is worth battling against. You know what I'm saying? Because I still respect them as far as bars and battling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he gonna chew your ass up.
Yeah, but it'll be an honor.
Hey. With one of them Jones, it's like Xerxes. You know, as long as you strike blood, at least you come out looking like the one. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, exactly. That nigga. Oh, but did you hear what he said about him? He got a couple balls off on him. Oh,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What you say, you gonna look good.
Exactly. Just the fact that you respond, that's big time.
Mm-hmm. You gotta make sure you respond.
Factor.
Well, as far as me, I really don't know. But if I had to say anything, it'd be people in general. So, I mean, feel let down by people this year. With everything going on, especially with this pandemic, you expect people to act human and come together and show some solidarity. But you still have those ignorant people out here who refuse to see the high death toll numbers. Well, I don't know nobody that's happened to. Well, I do, because I know two people who died from COVID. So it's real. It ain't no fake. It ain't fake at all.
That's a big fact.
I'm disappointed in people all together, but at the end of the day, I feel that I shouldn't be disappointed because it's the same thing that happened at the beginning of the AIDS endemic. That ain't going nowhere. Neither is COVID no time. Yeah, they may have this vaccine coming out, but who say 10 years, 5 years from now, it won't be side effects that no one could have foreseen from at this point right now. Who would say that? 5 years from now, it may not be none. Lord willing, hopefully not. But who's to say? We don't know future evidence of what this new vaccine will do because this is brand new. So we're embarking on a new chapter in our history. So hopefully
uncharted territory.
It goes good. Exactly. But hopefully in 2021, my faith in humanity, especially here in our country, will be restored because our people fell apart like on every level. So not only race against race, colorism, then that was at a height this year. So racism at a height this year, sexism, all the isms.
Yes, the isms were definitely out on parade.
I'm personally hoping to see more solidarity in 2021 on a bigger scale, not just little bands of parties here together. We're together. It be more togetherness in our country because we can't get nowhere separate. We can't. Only time that we can do anything is when we're all facing the same adversity. But this time, everyone went separate. I understand that through COVID restrictions, you had to be separate.
Yeah.
But still, there can be some level of solidarity, and that wasn't where it is. That's
big facts. No, that's big. Hell yeah.
Shit.
So, we're thinking about this year, revelations and just observations for this year as a whole. What's something that y'all feel that you learned or experienced from this year? Me, myself, is just being more aware. I mean, I'm always watching my back, always being more aware socially, being more aware of the hidden agendas around me, and more aware of the micro messages. A lot of people came out the closet this year, not in that term, but came out the closet with their racism, their foul behavior, beliefs, and put them on Front Street this year and didn't care. But you still have those people who hide theirs away and speak in a bitten tongue type of way.
Coded language.
Being more aware. Just being more aware. So that's one thing I've learned from this year: observation. Not to keep beating the dead horse, but observation. And a lot of people can be fake, man. Because a lot of people who came out with these racist views who claim that I have 7 black friends or I have this many white friends or
Mm-hmm.
racism is racism. Man. If
Right.
that's your view, stand on your view. Stand on how you feel.
Right.
That's that.
I rather have the
Mm,
evil I know than the hidden ones.
exactly. You don't have to
Yeah.
be
Hell
fake.
yeah.
You don't have to hide how you feel to appease me. We don't have to interact. That's just that. It's human nature. Like I don't agree with you. I don't have to deal with you. You don't have to deal with. Don't put
Big
yourself in a
fact.
situation where you feel like you have to not be yourself around anybody. Like be comfortable in yourself. So I mean, if you are the biggest racist in the world, like whatever culture, because racism comes in many different shades.
Yeah.
Systematic racism comes in one shade, but racism comes in all shades. So
Preach
whatever
that.
you don't
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that ain't what you like, you don't like it. That's to each his own. It's some things I may not like, but that's to me. You know what I mean? That's just maybe how I feel, but that may not
Right.
be how anybody else feels. But however I feel, I know not to be around what I don't like. Regardless if it's a person or people or whatever it is I don't like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
interact with. So I don't have to feel those negative feelings. So that's just my observation.
True.
That's real. I think for me, couple things, I guess. For one, just the power of like stopping yourself from saying, I'm about to, or I'm trying to, or I'm going to, and just doing it. Like, I feel like this year, if it taught me anything, is like, stop saying I'm going to do it and just go ahead and do the shit. Like, and that means like a lot of areas of my life, from like, stop saying that I'm gonna get better at communication and being a husband and being a father, but like just go ahead and do the shit. Not stop saying that I'm gonna go ahead and get better in my career, but just go ahead and actually do it. Stop saying that I'm gonna actually, follow my dreams and start, this podcast with y'all. Like, but go ahead and do it. Like, I think a lot of times it's easy to give yourself like a bunch of reasons of like, okay, I need to wait for this to do this, or I need to wait for this to do this. And sometimes the best thing that you can give yourself to do the next thing is to just start and start with whatever you got. And you can piece the rest together as you go. But at least if you start, you're working on it. As long as you still, like as long as I was talking about, well, I'm gonna wait till I get this certain mic and I need this certain room in my house to be set up and I need these certain soundproof panels and I need this over here and I need this. And I kept saying, well, I need this and I need this. And I kept putting off the podcast instead of just going ahead and saying, well, look, I got something that records. I can see myself. I can hear myself. It works for that. Let's go ahead and start. The other stuff can come over time, but at least if I start, for one, I'm doing it. I'm actually doing what I said I want to do. But for two, I'm also building the skills up so that as those other pieces fill in, I'm actually ready to use them, as opposed to me having all this stuff and then still sitting there not knowing what to do with all of it. So like, I think that's one of the biggest things, is just the power of just not saying I'm going to. And then I think the second biggest or the last biggest takeaway or like revelation from this year was just how powerful our mind is to the everything that we live through. Like, I feel like this has been a rough year, and in this year I've really seen the power of my mind, like that mind over matter, really at work. Like, yeah, it's been a rough year, but I when I look back at 2020, it's funny because for the most part, I just see a bunch of great stuff happen. Even though I know it was probably one of the worst years in recent history overall, but I don't see it. I just see all of the silver linings and the ways that the negatives have sprung something good from it. And I think that has helped me to get through this year like more than ever. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that I've really worked on this year in particular in my life. Because I feel like if this had happened, or if 2020 had been any other year in my personal life, like I don't think I would have handled it as well. I don't think I would have been as equipped to deal with it. I don't think I would have made it through with the same healthy mind frame as I have. I feel like it would have buckled me in certain years, or it would have completely changed how I treated people, or like it would have had a negative impact on me as opposed to a overall net positive effect. So like, I think that mind over matter and just the power of just doing it were like the two biggest takeaways for me, biggest themes that
Tell the truth. Tell you the truth, y'all. Y'all took mine.
hey, that's all right.
I was over here thinking, I was thinking the same thing. But you know what?
Great minds, man. Great mind.
One thing I will say I'm appreciative of is knowing that I have good friends, because there's a lot of people out here that don't have good friends. I've heard stories and about how friends are with other people and how they treat them, and then how you have that entitled friend, and then it's always a friend that's being used or whatever. I'm glad I have good friends,
Gang. Podnas thing, baby. We out here.
In general, and good friends that tell me when I'm messing up.
And that praise, man, like I think that's important, bro.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You talking to him, man. You talking to my soul right there, though, because I definitely am with you on that. Like I think definitely made me value and like really appreciate the bonds that I do have in my life, whether it be friends or family, like just the people that I know, like I love and they love me back the same, like, because I really have seen this year, like you said, a lot of people who don't have that, and I see how like rough that can be, and like it's one of the things that I take for granted because it's just I got those good people in my life that are that's just who they are. So it's like it happens without thinking about it. You know what I mean? So it's not something you're conscious about, like, oh yeah, I do have great friends. It's just, well, we always are just good to each other. So it just makes, but like when you really stop and think about like, oh, everybody doesn't have that. Like not everybody is blessed to have people that love them and that really care for them, and vice versa, or that they can even love and care on in certain situations. So like, yeah.
Some people don't know the characteristics of a good person. They haven't really experienced that. And then when they experience it throws them off. They may think that good person is trying to sell them something or trying to get something out of them. They may end up being friends with them just off of the fact that they're a good person, and then secretly be jealous of them because they're like, okay, you can't just be this good person, you experience that at sometimes. So it's just some people, because of the things in their life, they might not have experienced like a good friend or in general. So it throws them off, and they might not have just had a good friend yet, just because of that, just because they're not believing that that's possible,
Big facts. Big facts. That's a word right there, bro. That's a whole word.
I like that.
And I tell you one more revelation I have from the year of 20.
What's that?
It has been revealed to me that my absolute favorite segment that we've ever created, we've ever thought about doing on this entire podcast, is the things that Face hates. For the segment title to have the word hate in it, I love it. And to end 2020 off the right way, I can think of no better way for our listeners than to get the top 10 things that Face hated in the year 2020. And whatever these things are, may you keep your ass in 2020. Like, just stay here. Because I'm sure it's going to be a bunch of shit that we didn't need in the first half. Go ahead, Face. Take it away, champ.
Look, I had to write these down. They're in no specific order, but it's all shit that's pissed me off this year. Now, first, virtual schooling. I can't stand it. It's a continuous thing. We've covered it in episodes before. But once again, virtual schooling, I don't get down with it. I can't get. I mean, I understand it, but
I'm about over it.
I can't get down with it. I prefer the social interaction of regular schooling, because it's the continuous virtual schooling. It's not enough social interaction on a computer, because you're leaving your kids inept in certain areas. They need social interaction to go along with this schooling. Schooling ain't all about just learning book stuff. It's about learning people as well.
That's facts.
Next one. Young people, especially young males, continuously sagging they damn. I didn't do it when I was young. I couldn't stand that shit when I was young. I'm damn near 40 now. I'm still young. But some people consider me middle age. This sagging shit got to stop. Stop
Please,
promoting your
Lord,
booty.
yeah.
Stop promoting your ass. Don't nobody want to see
Promoting your ass. He said that
that.
shit
You
like
get
it was
all
an
offended.
album.
You feel me? You get
On a
offended when
promo
somebody
rubber
say
these
something to
cheeks.
you or say something about it. It ain't none of your problem. It is my problem. You got your ass out. You a man with your ass out. What they should do, like they do these women out here, when they see women that's scantily clad and they undress and they give them tickets, start getting these niggas with their pants sagging tickets. I
Big
guarantee you some of them
facts.
fucking pants are banned.
I can
Pull them
support that
fucking
movement.
pants up.
I can support that
Stop
movement.
promoting your fucking booty.
Ticket the fucking saggers. Yes, find them fuckers.
Promoting your ass like an IG bottle.
I mean that.
Next thing, this fucking rat culture is pissing me off.
The who?
It's on the rise. Rat culture.
Rats? Oh, Takashi's.
Yeah, rat.
Takashi's.
This motherfucking rat culture is on the rise. These ratatouille ass niggas. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Don't be with niggas that do this shit because you can be an exception. Don't put yourself in situations that you're not willing to attain to. If
That's
you
big
can't
facts.
hold 100 to it, don't get in the situation. Because when you expect it to be 100, you got to be 100. Anything less than that, you subpar. Don't be subpar. Always keep it real, man. These ratatouille ass motherfuckers need to go somewhere and sit the ass back.
Right. Go be a civilian if you want to rap.
Real situation.
Be a civilian. That's
That's it. If you want to be a rapper, be a rapper.
That's
Be a
it.
rapper. You don't have to fake bang. You don't have
Nope.
to fake bang to get clout. That ain't, you feel me? If that's your favorite color, just wear the color. You ain't gotta be around gangbangers to wear a color. I mean,
man, J. Cole and
Just
Chance
be
the
real.
Rapper, two of the biggest rappers in not now. One of these sell out tour. Be yourself, folks. I agree. Yes, sir. Come on in. Lead that in 2020, please.
shitty customer service. Shitty customer service. There's nothing worse.
Amen.
You
We
must
all
know the
have to
lady
have
from the gas
customer.
station my way.
Everywhere we go, there has to be customer service.
Yeah.
At one point in time in your day, you have to interact with someone who has to give you customer service. It either can continue your day on or make your day drastically change.
Yeah.
Either for the better or the good. You can get great customer service and you're like, oh man, that was some good shit. Oh man, thank you, bro. Thank you.
But shit, it would
Be like,
change
this
your
and
whole
that.
fucking.
Or you can be like, who the fuck this nasty ass motherfucker up in there? I should go back and slap this motherfucker. Now we all have a bit for shitty customer service. If you don't want to work in the customer service industry, don't.
I mean that.
Stay your ass in the back. Don't come to work.
Go be a golfer. Work by
time,
yourself. Shit.
Just be quiet that day. I know everyone's mother told them if they ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Think back to that.
Work from home.
Your
Do
fucking
something
mouth
else.
closed.
Make
Because
shit on
Your
Etsy.
shitty attitude at work is gonna get your ass fucked up in real. And that's what's going on. And they need to be understanding.
I don't know what you just said, but yeah. Oh, Jesus. What is happening? Oh, my. Did you just spank somebody? Did you just go hit somebody with bad customer service? I was like, he done got up and just went and struck somebody. Like, damn it. Speaking of which, let me go hit this.
Something that coincides with shitty customer service is entitled motherfucking people. There's a lot of that shit this year. And entitled people who work in customer service are doubling as well. Motherfucker, it's your job to help me. I'm not putting you out your way by asking you a fucking question in the place you work there. I'm not supposed to know this shit. You are.
I'm sorry. Your name tag says that you're supposed to do this.
Motherfuckers piss me off because they feel like they're impressed or it's something difficult for them to do their job or be expected to do what motherfucker you signed on to do. Entitled motherfucking people earn what you want. Ain't nothing given to nobody.
Wow.
You can learn it now or learn it the hard way. But I guarantee you, your ass gonna learn it.
Church, preach, tabernacle.
Once again, to revisit this topic, I know we covered it in other episodes, but once again, getting at the end of the year, top 10 motherfuckers who don't wear masks the right way.
Again, wear your fucking mask, people.
If it's under your nose, it ain't right.
Nope. You still breathing them damn vid particles.
If you got a hole in it and it's openness, all is open, so you can breathe out, guess what? That's not a mask, motherfucker.
Hold on, there's masks with a hole? right here.
have
That defeats
seen
the
the lady who went
whole
viral.
purpose.
Yeah, it's this lady who went viral who cut a whole big ass hole right here. And I was like, yeah, it's easy to breathe this way. You just got cheek coverings on. That's not a mask.
Yes, it is easy to breathe.
People who don't wear masks the right way.
Man, leave her ass in
Ignorant.
2022.
Ignorant.
Right there in it.
One more thing. The fact that there's no kid-friendly places to go during COVID times. Once again, kids are so
Man, yo.
these little
Yes.
outdoor places, these little jump
Yes.
houses, these little interaction places like that. They give kids time to build social interactions at young age. That there is none there. So they're forced to be at home. And in this era, if the Wi-Fi down, kids don't know what to do with themselves. So they're going crazy.
Oh, worrying you to
about
death.
outside these days. So you gotta introduce them to what outside means.
Yeah.
Bring
That
back
is
something
huge
to do
facts.
that's COVID safe for these damn kids, man.
Please.
It's not only driving me crazy, but it's driving their ass crazy too.
Yes.
Please give them something to do before I leave my child in 20.
Next thing, bullshit ass media. Media controls the narrative. And when they control the negative narrative and choose to make the narrative bullshit, everyone follows the bullshit.
Yep.
Report the real news. Put the truth out there to let people decide what they want. Don't try to manipulate the narrative based on what you want people to think. That's not news. That's entertainment.
Yeah, that's propaganda.
I'm not tuning into no channel but a movie channel for entertainment. I don't tune into a news channel for entertainment. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Tell me what's going on in the world. And let me know what you're talking about. Give me my weather.
The facts of it, not your opinion.
Give me my real life current event and let me move the fuck on. I don't want to hear what you think about what's going on. I don't want your commentary. I'll go to a different source for that. Give me the news.
Yes, Lord.
Bullshit media.
Reality.
Kiss my ass.
I miss real news. I feel like it was around for a short time at some point in our history. It's so long ago.
Perception versus reality.
Big facts.
Next thing. People who go out in public and smell and act like they don't smell.
Now, are you talking about smell as a smell theory, or are you talking about like they funky as shit?
Funky motherfuckers. You can smell yourself. Because I can smell you from over here.
Yes.
So you know you didn't need to bring your funky ass outside. Take your funky ass back in the house.
Your funky ass.
Clean that shit. Then come outside.
With your basura smelling.
But you didn't wake up. You didn't wake up like that. That's when I just did some shit type phone. And you came outside and did some other shit. Take your I did some shit ass in the house or in somewhere.
Did some shit.
Take your ass in
That's
the
exactly what they did.
And pat some water. Pat some water. Pat. Do something.
No pun intended with pat. Not that pat. But pat some water. Pat will not be patting anybody's water or anything. No. That we mean as in your hand.
Act like you don't stink.
He said pat some water. I just see somebody out there splashing themselves like a bidet.
One time I was at the Octave Farm, the place you get blood at or whatever. Sitting in the front, and the dude in the back, I could smell the dude in the back all the way up front. And I knew it was the dude in the back because we all discussed it up front.
Never should the back funk reach the front.
No, never.
Funk is bad enough, but funk should be self-contained, not floating funk. When this floating funk, that means your funk has gotten legs and walked. Damn it.
He the only one there looked dirty, so we knew it was.
You infringing on my right, sir. I have a right to have my olfactory area clean and clear.
It was horrible, B. But yeah.
I don't lost what number this is, but I'm gonna just call this the end. And I'm in my most hated motherfucking things for 2020 and former president, motherfucker Donald Trump.
Fuck Donald Trump.
My nerve.
Yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Nerve. I mean that.
But it's over, bro. It's over.
It's over. It's over now. Move over. It's our turn now. Move over.
I'm done with the bullshit, ignorant comments. I'm done with the tweets about bullshit that you shouldn't have nothing to say about your president. Well, you were president. And at what point did you have presidential? What example did you set positive for our country or any other country around the world that we're supposed to be the leaders of the free world? None. but the
Not a
other
now
half,
one.
and to say what the fuck you want. You gotta realize, in the real world, saying what the fuck you want, 9 times out of 10, you get your shit bust. So you need
Big
to say
facts.
what you want, but with a filter. Donald, you had no filter as a president. You gotta exercise that key element. Got on my motherfucking nerves this year. But 2021, hopefully you won't.
Bad Trump. Not trumping. They coming to get your ass and lock you up. You and your boy Rudy.
Oh, Rudy
I'm
get on my
so excited. I'm so
Rudy
excited.
even more.
The whole COVID cabal, let them all go to hell and to jail. And they're frail because they're old as the oldest of elves. And with that, folks, that has been another 2020, the first year of the Podnas, the first month of the Podnas, the first everything of the Podnas as we end our first decade as a podcast group and we go into 2021. We salute you guys. We thank you. Coming up in 2021, a lot to look forward to. You will see us cross promo and with another podcast called the Herb Certainty Podcast. Please check them out as well. They are fam and they do great interviews. So if you're more into the interview style of podcast, they're a good ad that you can listen to right after you listen to us every week. We have an interview coming up with a holistic guy. So we're going to get your herbs right. Make sure you're putting the right things in your body, especially in 2021, so we can start the year off right. Just making sure that we are as healthy as possible in all facets of our lives. We have, not only do we have the weekly smell theory videos coming from Face to make sure that you are getting yourself ready for the new year and really maximizing your potential in the world. We also have 2 brand new live shows that we're going to be working on that we'll be bringing to you in 2021. So you can get just more of us, you know what I'm saying, just see us in more different lights and just allowing us to just continue to just push our creative expressions and just allow us to get our ideas out. But yeah, man, the 2021 is about to be a beast year for the partners. It's about to be a beast year for you all at home. And thank you guys for continuing to rock with us and listening to us. What you guys got for them as we go into the entire new decade, new year? What you got for them, fellas?
Once again, 2 stores up there for y'all. Teespring.com/stores/partners-closet-1. Then you have the other, teespring.com/stores/face-co-2. Check us out. Once again, listen to all content for all promo codes for both stores. We do have some for 15% off. We may even have some for free shipping. Gotta check us out.
Right on,
most,
right on.
Most definite. And THEPODNAS. If you would have an @ in front of it or a hashtag in front of it, that's the best way to find us on Facebook. That's the best way to find us on Instagram and Twitter. And man, Google us, man. Our first episode, man, is if you go to images, that's our first episode up there. I just Googled us, yo.
Oh, that's
Google
fire.
the Partners.
That is
And
crazy. Yes, we are on all platforms.
The second one is the merch. The third one is the commercial. We're ahead of all of them.
I don't know if it's a word yet.
Just the fact that we're
Googleable.
That's hard.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a word yet, but if it ain't, we just made it Googleable.
I don't care. I heard you say it, so I'm gonna run with it. Googleable. We Googleable now, goddammit. Now Google us, folks, and follow the movement, man. We're on every platform that you can think of. If you can find people talking there on podcasts, you can find us. Just type in the Podnas and we will pop up. Let's continue to support the movement. We love y'all. Have a blessed new year.
Subscribe, share.
Yes. And hey, man, comment on anything that you are listening or watching of us. Give us your feedback. Let us know, hey, we're doing a great job on this, or tell us more things that you want to see more of us doing. As always, man, have a blessed end of 2020. We will see y'all in the new year. As always, I am 1/3 of the Partners, Tiz, along with
the Padawan.
This is your boy Faith.
Peace.